Hi Stampers, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc, and today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little necklace with the Soda Pop Tops and the Collage Curios stamp set. To get started, this is the Collage Curios stamp set, and you can see there's 9 little images, and you can layer those however you like. They fit perfectly in our Soda Pop Tops, either the smaller size or the larger size, and you can mix and match those however you like. The Soda Pop Tops come in a set of 16, and there's 2 sizes. There's this larger size, and then there's also a smaller size that fits the 1/2-inch circle punch. And as you can see, this looks like any pop top that you get off of a bottle, and we're going to use this to create our base for the necklace. So to flatten this, you're going to use your Big Shot. And you've got a multi-purpose pad. Try using it on no tabs, so you're going to remove both of those tabs. Then place one of your plates down on the bottom there. You're going to place your pop tops straight up like this. Put your other cutting plate right on top, and then you're going to run that right through the Big Shot. And when it comes out, this is what you will have, a nice flattened pop top. Okay. Now I did experiment a little bit, and I would recommend you just do one at a time. When I tried to do more than one, they actually ended up kind of wonky. So just try to do one at a time on that. So the next thing you want to do is you want to stamp your image. And again, I used the Collage Curios. And on this particular one, you can see the very background is kind of a word image. I used crumb cake on that. And then the little green wreath I did in Lucky Limeade. And then the little pink butterfly was in Primrose Petals. Now, you can stop right here, but I really recommend you do this next step. Go ahead and just smush that into a Versamark pad. Just kind of smush it into the pad. I'm not going to do it right here, but smush it in the pad. Then sprinkle clear embossing powder over that image, and then heat emboss that. And what that'll do is that'll protect your ink. Because the next steps will actually blur your image if you don't follow that step. So once you've got that heat embossed, then you're going to use just a little bit of the Tombow multi-glue. And just put a bit of it on the bottle top. Put your image in there, and then allow that to dry. And this isn't exactly a quick process. For the drying time, you're going to want to allow at least 30 minutes to possibly up to an hour for it to dry. You'll also want to go back over it a couple of times and make sure you push down all of the edges so there's not any bubbles or lifting with that. After that's dry, then you want to go ahead and use your 1/16 inch punch and punch a hole. So just decide where your top's going to be, and give it a good punch, and you'll get a nice, I don't know if you'll even be able to see that, but you'll get a nice little hole in that. Okay. So then with your image in there, and again, we would have already had that glued down, you're going to take some Crystal Effects. The tip I can give you here is just don't shake the bottle at all. Okay, make sure you leave that as it is. So on this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and just put a dab on here to hold my image in place. And then I'm going to put this on top. Now this one I did not do the heat embossing with, so it's going to end up a little differently, and I'll show you the difference in just a moment. But what happens if you don't do the heat embossing and you use that classic ink, because it's water-based and the Clear Effects is water-based also, it's going to blur that image. So the very first attempt that I did at one of these, this was the outcome. So it gives you more of like a watercolor type effect. I mean, the edges just blur a little bit. So if that's what you want, that's great. But if you really want your image to be more clear, like the first one that I showed you, you're going to want to do that heat embossing step. Okay? Now, as far as drying with the Crystal Effects, that's probably going to take a few hours because you did put quite a bit on there. So I often will do those before I go to bed tonight, and then in the morning it's all ready to go. So these are really easy to do. Once they're dry, you're just going to put a little jump ring in the hole, and then add it to whatever necklace that you want. These little bead chains or ball chains are really cute for that and would make a great little gift. I'm going to show you one other one that I did, and that one I actually stamped with StazOn ink instead. And what I did on this one is I punched out a piece of the first edition designer series paper with the 1-inch circle punch, and then I stamped the little bee image in StazOn ink onto a very vanilla piece of cardstock and then punched that out with the 1/2 inch. So this is the StazOn ink. If you use that ink, you can really skip that heat embossing step. You don't need that at all because that ink won't run. Now I popped it up with a dimensional, and that way it added some dimension, and it kind of looks like that bee is just floating in there. And I've got one more sample for you. With the smaller bottle caps, I actually did a little bracelet, and I just punched out little pieces of designer series paper, and I even did that bee image again and put those into the bracelet to create just a really cute little spring bracelet. It required 9 of those, so I actually had to have 2 packages of the soda pop tops to do that with. I did find that these were a little trickier to flatten, but they do work as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and be sure to go like my page on Facebook, visit my blog, and subscribe. I will be adding more videos soon. Thanks for watching.